Thousands of pages. Key names blacked out. Sealed evidence. In 2019, federal authorities arrested Jeffrey Epstein, and the world expected answers. But years later, most of the files remain unseen by the public, raising countless questions. This is the story of the Epstein Files, a case of hidden documents, unanswered questions, and institutional intrigue. Epstein was a financier with an extensive international network. He cultivated connections to the highest echelons of political, business, and social elites. Early investigations revealed complex financial and travel patterns that would later become central to the case. He was first convicted back in 2008 for unrelated financial crimes, with many records showing a web of complex offshore accounts designed to obscure his dealings. These connections made any investigation highly complex and incredibly sensitive, with documents often heavily redacted to protect names and details. Then, on July 6, 2019, Epstein was arrested on federal charges. Authorities promised a full and thorough investigation, which would include a deep dive into court filings, financial records, and his infamous flight logs. Public and media attention was intense, with global news outlets covering every development. Yet, even as files were slowly released, the public quickly realized they were only seeing a small part of the story. Thousands of pages of documents were eventually made public, including court filings, flight logs from his private jet, and various financial statements. But as people eagerly combed through them, they found that many sections were heavily redacted, with thick black lines obscuring names, dates, and other crucial details. Certain official documents remain sealed entirely, or are only partially accessible to this day. Every page that was released seemed to answer one question, but raised several more. Who was referenced in those sealed portions? What financial trails remain undisclosed? Which flight log entries were never investigated publicly? Investigators faced immense legal and procedural challenges from the very beginning. Epstein's financial records were a labyrinth, spanning multiple offshore accounts and trusts that made tracking the flow of money incredibly difficult. Some key witnesses and individuals connected to the documents were unavailable or, for various reasons, unable to testify. This combination of sealed files, redacted names, and procedural limits left significant gaps in the public record. Despite the full force of federal resources, only a fraction of the investigation was ever made accessible to the public. Much of the case remains hidden behind sealed documents and legal barriers. Epstein was held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York. On August 10, 2019, he was found dead in his cell. Official reports state the cause was suicide, but reports of procedural failures at the facility and limited access to evidence created a storm of further uncertainty and speculation. His death meant that the court proceedings could not fully examine all the documents and evidence that had been gathered. This sudden stop left hundreds of documents sealed and a mountain of public questions completely unresolved. So, which documents are still sealed, and what are the official reasons for keeping them hidden? Which of his financial records remain inaccessible to investigators and the public? Which flight logs and travel records were never publicly investigated? And how did institutional procedures and legal roadblocks affect the release of critical information? The Epstein Files are not just paperwork. They are a maze of unanswered questions, redacted names, and undisclosed evidence. The case exposed significant institutional challenges within federal investigations and sparked a wave of media reports, independent research projects, and intense public debates about transparency and justice. Analysts continue to comb through the available documents, searching for new insights and connections. This case serves as a powerful demonstration of how complex investigations can leave profound mysteries unresolved, even in the most high-profile situations. The Epstein Files remind us that the full truth is sometimes hidden behind layers of bureaucracy, secrecy, and procedural barriers. Thousands of pages are available, yet the most important questions remain unanswered. The files reveal what authorities allowed the public to see and, more importantly, hint at what remains sealed away from public view. Even today, The Epstein Files continue to fascinate and frustrate investigators, journalists, and the public alike. The Epstein Files are not just records. They are a maze of unanswered questions. This is criminal verse, where every crime hides a story.